Are you miserable? Well, you're in luck
Yes.
because today's episode, we are talking about not just any trap, not a bear trap, not a bull trap, but the ideal self trap. Why trying to be perfect produces misery. This is the Existential Stoic podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, Randy?
This is an interesting one.
It's a good one. Yeah. I think this is one that everybody struggles with. And like it's one of these ones where I think you can kill your momentum and also just make yourself wildly depressed and miserable trying to be perfect, right? I think we all struggle with this.
Dude, and we live in a world where like being perfect is like that's just okay. It's like
Yeah.
that's the bare minimum. You
You're
know?
not grinding and perfect? What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's funny. Like, I think about this when I saw this, the idea for this episode, I was thinking about too, like, it's like when we got the dogs, right? And you go to train them and you look on YouTube at these videos and like all the videos act like you have to have your dog perfect. Like this dog has to like sit by your side, do nothing, until you speak to it and all this stuff. And it's like,
Hmm.
that's not what I want though either, and it's this problem I think where like so much stuff we see online and it's all BS, it's all made up, but it's
Hmm.
presented to you like this perfect ideal life or ideal self, like this person's figured it out. They're 22 and they know everything, and it's like,
Yeah. Like I look back and I see a very clear distinction between the 1990s and the 2000s because like the 1990s, I mean, you have stuff like say Screech from Saved by the Bell and
yeah,
Steve Urkel and stuff like that. Clearly not perfect, but they were just who they were. And then all of a sudden in the 2000s, Zuck is like the first teenage billionaire or whatever, and all of a sudden you have to be perfect, and that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, in everything too. That's the crazy part. But the funny part is too, is like, I don't know why we have this ideal because no one is either.
Mm-mm.
Like,
No
they
one's even
try to pretend
close.
like it, yeah, but they are not. And that's the
Yeah.
other weird thing is like, so why do we all feel this urge that we have to be this way when there is clearly no evidence that anyone is?
Well, because it's one of these traps where you don't have it and you think that you're miserable because you don't have it. Like that's the reason.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to this really interesting book right now. What is it? It's by the dude who wrote The Psychology of Money. It's called, I don't know, I have to look it up because I can never remember the name of this thing.
Titles are tough when you
It,
listen to them too. Because you don't see
dude,
it.
it's terrible. It's called The Art of Spending Money. And it's crazy because in this book, he talks a whole bunch about how people just basically they get in traps where they're trying to impress other people with their money
Hmm.
and it never has anything. And there's like no matter how much money you make and how fast you make money, there's always someone who make money faster. And
Yeah.
like he was joking around how like if Bill Gates had Oprah money, he would kill himself. You
Yeah.
know? It's
Yeah.
just
He'd
like
be miserable, and that's
but like
insane.
if any of us had Oprah money, it would be the best thing in the world. So it is all kind
Yeah.
of comparisons.
Well, that's the problem though. I think that is at the heart of it, right? Is that it's all these self-comparisons we make. And like we talked about this before, but we're picking and choosing what we're comparing to. We're never comparing to the whole person. Like Oprah's miserable. Have you ever seen anything about her life? Because
Oh,
she
it was
is,
terrible in the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a few like things and she's just miserable still. Like even though she has this
Really?
empire she built, yeah, yeah. Seen lots of
Ah,
problems. I don't know if they're all
yeah.
accurate. Granted, to be fair, I don't want to make like I'm not an expert on
Yeah.
Oprah by
I
any
thought that
means.
out of many people, she would have kind of figured it out, but maybe because it's kind of like the
But she presents
striving
an
because
image, right?
there's no end to it, you know?
Yeah.
And if you think that the striving is going to get you there, then you're missing out. It's like you remember that story? Everybody knows that story about like the dude who goes on vacation, like the millionaire CEO or whatever goes on vacation in
Yeah.
Mexico and he finds some guy, like fishing all day, playing guitar and drinking with his friends at night, and he's like, what are you doing here? You could buy like five more fishing boats and then take out a whole bunch of debt and whatever, work 20 years, build up this empire. And the Mexican fisherman's like, and then what? And then you can retire and you can sit on a beach and fish all day and drink with your friends. And he's like, well, why would I do that? But it's kind of like people think there's this whole circuitous route to being happy and fulfilled. And it's like, well, you could just be happy and fulfilled now with what you have.
Because we've
Like, but
told them a lie, right?
contentment is a hard thing because uh, it it's not an all the time thing. I think David Byrne says it very well, where like if you have 5 good days and 2 days a week, 2 bad days a week, you're doing pretty good.
Well, this is funny. This is what the Stoics and stuff were so focused on with virtue, right? Is that if you develop virtue, you develop a stronger character. So you are more equipped to weather the ups and downs. And that's where
Hmm.
that flourishing comes in, right? Because life is always going to have ups and downs. Like there's no way we're going to get around that. Like even if you live a quiet life, a peaceful life, people are going to die that you love. There's going to be, natural events that happen that are going to be, disastrous. But it's how you deal with that after it happens that matters. And if we have a strong character, we weather it better. So like you're saying, right? Like, contentment might be like it's not going to be permanent, but when you have these issues too, if you build that strong character, you know yourself, you'll weather it better as well, which is kind of interesting.
It definitely comes down to like knowing yourself and just like recognizing that you're having a bad day. Because like it's very
Yeah.
easy to spiral when you're having a bad day. Like for instance, today there was just this underlying feeling of discontent. Like nothing
Yeah.
particularly bad happened, but it just was like this feeling in my body. And so like everything, it was getting like colored by this discontent, and I was just getting into all these moods until I recognized I'm just like, oh, I'm just feeling discontent today. So I guess the challenge for today is being content with being discontent, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's funny too, because we blow things out of proportion too. Like I'm worried about something upcoming with work and some stuff going on there. And it's funny because, like I was talking to Anna about it and she's like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, we'll be fine. Like we'll figure something out. And like, I know that's true, but at the same time, like whenever stuff like this happens, like it's easy to spin out, right? And imagine. And I think part of it is too, though, because it's like time of year, we're surrounded by advertising, people telling us we don't have enough or we need this or we need
Hmm.
that or we need more for
Yeah.
this, and it's like very difficult sometimes, I think, to see past all that crap and see what's
Hmm.
actually true, you know?
Yeah. And worrying is a challenging one because it's is addictive, but also it's this form of magical thinking where it
Yeah.
says, if I worry, then things will work out, as if that's ever true,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
But
Well,
it's like it's not like things work out because you worried.
no. And that's the other
Yeah.
funny thing. It's like that catch 22 of like we feel like we need to worry to motivate ourselves to do things to make the changes. But really that's
Mhm.
like a false connection. There's no real causality
Hmm.
there. And the
Yeah,
worrying actually usually gets in the way of us doing productive things to actually make things
true.
better. Yeah.
But it's also important to acknowledge the good aspects of worrying because you're worrying about this, it says some really awesome things about you.
Yeah,
It says
right.
that you care about yourself, you care about your well-being,
Yeah.
you want things to work out. Probably you believe in some sense of justice in the world. And like these are a lot of really good qualities and things that it says about you. So
Yeah.
it's not
It's
and this kind of like touches on the whole perfection thing of this episode. So people think it's like supposed to be black or white, 100% or zero, perfection, all or nothing. Like worrying is bad 100% of the time. Anxiety is bad 100% of the time.
yeah.
Depression is bad 100% of the time. But it's just not. There's
No.
like it's shades of gray, and
It's
there's
also called
50 of them
life.
from what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are 50. They get very
But
spicy too at times.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like worrying can be good, and it says a lot of good things about you. Anxiety and depression also can be good, say very good things about you and your values.
Well, because
Even perfectionistic tendencies.
yeah,
They say very good things about you and your personality,
about what
but
you want.
they just might be
Yeah.
causing you to be miserable.
Well, it tells you about your expectations too, like what you expect from yourself, what you expect from others, right? It tells you about your values. It tells you a lot of good things. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I want to give a handy hint because this thing like I get stuck in perfectionism every once in a while, like most other people. And this one trick helped me out so much when I learned about it because when you get stuck in perfectionism, you're trying to be perfect and
Yeah.
it's just not working and it's really, really frustrating. So I was reading, I think this was a David Burns thing also, but he's like, when you're in that cycle, just try and be average. And see how much you fail. And
Yeah.
it's hilarious because like I was trying to do average stuff and I'm like, well, that's not average. That's clearly above average. Okay, try better to be average. And it's
Yeah.
like you can't. Some things are good, some things are bad, some things are close to perfect, some things are close to terrible, but yeah.
Well, the other weird
But
thing is like your scale is going to be different from everybody else's too, of what that
mhm,
means. And it's like a
definitely.
changing, especially when people get caught up in it, it's a changing scale that you can never, it's like the Sisyphusian, dilemma,
Hmm.
right? You can never push that boulder up to the mountain and it sticks. It's always going to
Hmm.
roll down because there's always going to be somebody else with more, somebody else with better, somebody
Yeah,
else with
because
faster,
perfect is
right?
just a concept.
Yeah. And a very vague
Yeah,
one.
you can't hit a concept. It's like the what is that thing, the asymptotic line where it gets closer
Yeah.
and closer, but it never touches. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy too. Think about how many people don't do things they love because of this idea of perfectionism. Like, oh, I'm not great at, I can't be an Olympic skier, so I just won't ski. Or I'll
Mm,
never make money from, photography, so I just won't do photography, right? Even those things you might love to do, we don't do them. And then it's like, and then how do we fill our time? We fill our time with doom scrolling, looking at crap that makes us, salivate after the next new thing or whatever, and
hmm.
crave all these things that make us feel worse about our position. So it is
Yeah.
it's like self-induced too. And I think that's the worst part is like when you recognize that, you can definitely help pull yourself out of it faster and be more self-aware. But it's a struggle
Hmm.
too. It's hard. I don't think it's easy. And like you were saying too, like this is life is this. It's ups and downs, it's depression, it's anxiety. And I think we spend so much time trying to say that you shouldn't ever feel any of these things that it
Hmm.
makes people feel terrible when they do, right? Like something's wrong with them.
Yeah. So let's take a look at how perfectionism specifically makes people miserable. Because, well, for instance, like if if you want to be happy, it comes down to kind of having things like somewhat getting what you want, right? Having expectations and having them be met or
It's tough,
exceeded,
right?
right?
I think some of happiness is some of getting what you want, but also being happy with what you have, right? Being able to be happy as yourself. I think that's a
Yeah.
big part of it too. But yeah, so do you
Yeah,
think, yeah, there's something.
Like a lot of it is expectations, like
Yeah.
how close to whatever it is. If it far exceeds your expectations, you're like really happy, and if it doesn't meet your expectations, you're not happy. And so, like if perfection is your expectation, knowing that you can never meet it or exceed it, that
Yeah.
just by definition means you're going to be miserable.
Well, that's the weird thing about it, right? Is that perfectionism by definition is an ideal, right?
Hmm.
So it is perfect. It is something that's unattainable.
Hmm.
I think that's one of the things I always loved about studying ethics was that, you look at all these like ancient ethicists, the Stoics, the existentialists, whatever, um, throughout human history, and like the ideal of the good life was always something very much ideal. Like it's not something that m many, if any, people achieve. It's something you
Hmm.
strive for, right? And knowing that you probably won't achieve it because there's always going to be room for improvement, change. There's always going to be changes in your life. And it's always this working towards something. And it's the working towards that matters. It's not the goal. And I think we've screwed up because we've made the goal the thing that matters rather than the journey or the working towards. And it's an
Hmm.
unattainable goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's always better to have something to work towards than not because
Yeah.
it's even when you attain that thing, it's only for like a brief moment.
Well, it's like purpose, right? Like, we talked about this before, but like, I don't know about you, but like when you don't have anything going on in your life, when you have no projects, no plans, no things that you like doing, it can feel miserable, right? And
Hmm.
boring and terrible because we need things to do. We're creative beings, right? Like we like
Hmm.
doing things that we're like learning things, making things. So I think
Hmm.
having things to do is really good, but realizing that, like none of these is like the epitome of your life or the end all be all. It's just a part of your life, right? It's part of that journey of living. And so kind of seeing
Hmm.
that too can be very helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
definitely.
weird
So those
trap.
are a couple ways that it makes people miserable. Also, it just gets you into the whole concept of like all or nothing thinking,
But yeah,
where it either is perfect or it's a failure. Like,
yeah,
it's like you get a 90% on a test and you're like, oh, not 100. What the heck? I used to
I
do
used
that
to
in
do it
vet
myself
school.
too. Yeah,
I took the test serious as a mofo. And so like I would get hundreds on tests, but like when I would get a 96 or something, I'd be like, oh, I missed one question. That one
yeah.
question, come on.
And it does it
Yeah.
matter? No, not even a
No,
little.
not at all.
And
Because I
that's
don't
the
even
funny
work as
thing.
a
Like,
vet anymore.
no, that's just it, right? Like, you don't even do it. No, but even if you still did it, it doesn't matter, right? Because it has no
Yeah.
bearing on how you're going to be as a vet, too. That's the funny thing. But
Yeah,
we
and
put so
usually
much
you
pressure
learn
on
from those
ourselves.
questions the most because you'll
Yeah.
never forget them.
Well, that's just it,
You
right? And I think that's the all or nothing thinking we get trapped in with perfectionism. It's
know,
like, again, you know,
actually that's a great example because like I I mean I talk about this on here all the time how I came in second place in the spelling bee in second grade.
yeah.
I don't remember all the words that I said that I spelled correctly to get to second
Do you
place,
remember the one you
but
spelled
I remember
wrong?
the one word that I didn't spell correctly to miss first place. And it's crazy because that's how you learn.
Yeah. Well, that's what learning is, right? Learning. we learn the most from the obstacles that we overcome, not from because like when something's easy and you can just do it, you don't need to learn anything. You're not learning. You're doing something you already know how to do, right? So it's like if you never challenge yourself, if you never do anything different, you never have the opportunity for failure, you're never growing. So I think
Mhm.
that's the other side of this is like perfectionism can also be I think it can also be a self-imposed sort of limit on our own growth because like we're afraid of change, we're afraid of growing, we're afraid of succeeding, and it's a good way to block ourselves because that all or nothing thinking makes it really easy to say like I'm not good enough, I'll never be able to do this, whatever, because we expect perfect out of ourselves immediately when that's never the case, right? Learning or doing something new or anything in life. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a good one.
Cool. Well, anything else that we should mention on this topic?
I mean, there's tons, but I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfectionism sucks.
Cut yourself some slack.
Yeah, especially this
Nobody's
time of year
perfect.
too. This
Oof.
time of year is
Yeah.
oh my God. Because
It
like I
is that
think
time of year. I forgot
well, I
about
think it
that.
is, and I think also I was thinking about this because like went out to do a little shopping for Christmas, and I think that's one of the ones where I think people like, dude, everything's really expensive, and I think people put so much pressure on themselves, like, oh my, kids' Christmas is gonna be ruined if I don't get X. And it's like, really though, is it? Like, and I think that's the other
Hmm.
thing. Like, so being compassionate with yourself and going a little easy is good, especially this time of year.
Yeah, I always love watching like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because you see how messed up their family dynamic is, and it's
Oh
like
God.
that's pretty normal. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Oh God.
right.
It's like it's a mess.
Yep. Yeah, so there you have it. That's why being perfect can cause you to be miserable. If you're perfect, try out some of the things we talked about in this episode. Maybe you'll be a little bit less miserable after. So, if you enjoyed it, we have hundreds of other episodes. Just check out wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Until next time, this is the Existential Stoic Podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Randy.